Hello, my name is Madam Jennifer from Educare TZ. Welcome my lovely Form 2 students in our biology session. And in today's session, we are going to solve the Necta questions for the year 2019. Welcome. In this session, we are going to see the variety of the question that has been constructed from our two level, from Form 1 and Form 2. Also, we are going to see on how different questions are designed from different topics. We have learned also on how to answer them first to ensure that we get all the awarded marks to a particular question. Welcome. By starting with the question number 5 for the year 2019, the question states that Roman A, mention 4 types of organs found in animal's body. Mention 4 types of organ found in animal body. Roman B, the question states that briefly explain the difference between plant cell and an animal plant cell wall and a cell membrane. And the last question, Roman C, states that outline 2 similarities between animals and plant cell. Outline 2 similarities between animals and plant cell. My lovely Form 2 students, this topic has been derived from our lovely topic of the Form 1. In that topic, on that concept of the cell structure and organization, is where this topic or this question has been derived. So in Roman A, you are needed to be aware on the term organ. After knowing what is an organ, now you can give the examples of an organ. The organ, this is a structural organism which has been formed by the combination of the tissues. So the tissue, these are the organelles, these are the structure which are formed or which are derived from the cell. These are formed by the combination of the cell, either from the of the same origin or different origin, but all have been evolved to perform the similar function. That is a tissue. So the combination of the tissue give the organs. So in the animal body or in the human body, we have different numbers of the organs. Like we have the liver, heart, stomach, brain, lungs, kidney. Those are the organs. So here just you are needed to give or just to mention. Because once you answer the question, my lovely Form 2 students, make sure that you follow the conditions or the instruction that has been given to a particular question, so that to ensure that you does not waste the time, also you get all the awarded marks. So here you are just asked to give the 4 types of to just mentioning these 4 types of organ. Just make sure that you give only 4. Don't give an extra, because just you consume your time writing an extra point. Make sure that you stick on the rules and regulation or direction awarded to a particular question. For Roman B, you are needed to have a deep understanding pertaining the concept of the eukaryotic cell. Within the eukaryotic cell, that you see that these are the cell which have the membrane, which have the nuclear bond membrane, meaning that the DNA and the chromosome are enclosed by the nuclear membrane to enclose them. So then the example is plant and animal cell. So you are needed to be aware, familiar, and having the deep understanding pertaining the eukaryotic cell by understanding the difference, the structure of animal and plant cell in details, the components as well as the similarity as well as the difference. And the question number 5, Roman C. This question needs you to give the similarities of existing between these two eukaryotic cells, which is plant and animal cell. Now let us answer the question by starting with Roman A, which needs just to mention the four organs found in the human body. The first one, we have the brain as one of first component of the central nervous system, which function in receiving, interpreting, processing, and storing of the information. The second one is the heart. The main function of the heart is pumping of the blood throughout the body. So why it tend to pump the blood to the body without getting fatigue? This is due to the presence of due to the presence of the specialized tissue or mass which is found within the heart. Also, the lungs. The lung, this is the main of the respiratory organ in the human body, which is responsible for the respiration or for the gaseous exchange during the inhalation and exhalation. Also, the another one is the kidney, which is the one of the main organ which is responsible for the excretion excretion of the nitrogenous waste, maintenance of the blood pH, also the maintenance of the glucose sugar. The question Roman B for this question number 5, which needs you to explain the two differences between the plant cell wall and an animal cell membrane. My lovely Form 2 students, these are all the organelles which are found within this plant and animal cell, but the cell wall is only found in the plant, and animal cell does not possess the cell membrane. So that is the greatest difference. So the cell wall is found within the plant cell, while the animal cell does not possess of the cell wall. And instead the cell membrane, but why the cell membrane found in both plant and animal cell. So what are the differences existing between the cell wall as well as the cell membrane? The first one of all, let us be familiar with what is cell membrane so that you can give the difference. Once we talk on the cell membrane, this means that the cell membrane, this is a thin layer that encloses the whole cell. So the first layer and the thinnest one that encloses the cell, all the content of the cell, so as to separate the inner content of the cell with the outer one. These are known as the cell membrane. So the cell membrane is made up of two layers of lipid and protein molecule, or in other terms, say that the cell membrane is made up of phospholipid bilayer, meaning that it's made up of layer lipid and protein. That's why we call it that phospholipid bilayer. This protein and lipid, they tend to have the hydrophilic and hydrophobic property. They have water soluble properties. There zingine ambao ni water soluble, nyingine ni water insoluble. Ambao ni water soluble tunaita hydrophilic, na ambao ni water insoluble tunaziita hydrophobic. So these characteristics of this cell membrane, due to the presence of this protein and lipid, inasaidia katika kuweza maintain the state of hydration katika this plant and animal cell. So this membrane is flexible and semi-permeable. The cell membrane is flexible and semi-permeable. Semi-permeable meaning that it tends to allow only to some degree, it tends to allow a required amount of water and minerals to pass or enter into the cell. And also it is flexible, meaning that it is capable of changing. And that's why the animal cell, which is only made up of this cell membrane, tends to have the irregular shape. So the greatest difference between the cell membrane and the cell wall now is that the cell membrane, this is thinnest membrane which encloses the content of the cell. First one, it is thin. Second one, it is made up of the lipid and protein components, or it is phospholipid. Also, the third difference is that this cell membrane is flexible and semi-permeable. And the last one, this cell membrane is found within both plant and animal cell. Now let us shift it to the cell wall. The cell wall, as you see that the cell wall found only in the plant cell. So the plant cell are the only which consists of this cell wall. So the cell wall, this is the strongest covering made up of cellulose surrounding a cell membrane. So first of all, this cell wall, it is strongest. Also, it is composed of this cellulose, and it is around the cell membrane. The cell membrane is that is the thinnest membrane that surrounds the content of the cell, while the cell wall it encloses or surrounds the cell membrane. Also, the composition is that the cell wall is made up of the cellulose, while the cell membrane is made up of this protein and the lipids. So today you have already get the two difference. Also, the cell wall is fully permeable. While you see that in the cell membrane, that the cell membrane is flexible and semi-permeable. So the cell wall, it is fully permeable, meaning that it's allow all water and the nutrients and mineral nutrients to pass in and out of the cell. There's no restriction. Now that was all about the difference existing between the cell membrane and the cell wall. Hope that you have understood. The Roman C for this question stated that explain two similarity between the animal and the plant cell. Now, after seeing this component of one of the components, example cell membrane, that is found within both plant and animal cell, and the cell wall, which is found only in the plant cell. So now we can set the difference. The similarities. So the similarity is that both plant and animal cell have membranes, cytoplasm, nuclear, cell vacuole, and mitochondria. When you look on the structure of the plant and animal cell, you get to know that the The plant and animal cell both have the cell membrane, or the thinnest membrane that encloses the content of the cell. Both have the cytoplasm. This is a gel-like fluid. It is where the chemical process or chemical reaction do take place. Also, there is this nucleus. The nucleus, this is the one which contains the hereditary material. So the main function of the nucleus is to control all the activities of the cell. Also, another one is the cell vacuole. The cell vacuole, they tend to vary, but they all found in plant and animal cell. In animal cell, this cell vacuole is small and temporary, while for plant cell it is largest and permanent. Their main function is to perform the function of the osmoregulation. Also, there is mitochondria, which is considered the powerhouse of the cell because it is where the respiration do take place. The respiration, this is a cellular process that involves the step-by-step process of breaking down complex food substance into so as to release the energy which can be used for the performance of other metabolic activities. Another similarity is that both eukaryotic cell, both the plant cell and animal cell, these are the all characteristics of the eukaryotic cell. In the eukaryotic cell, you see that these are the cells which have the nuclear bond membrane, meaning that their DNA and the chromosome are surrounded by this nuclear bond membrane. So both are the eukaryotic cells. So this is how the question needed to be answered. And for those who answered the question correctly, got all the marks that has been distributed in this particular question. Another question is question number 6 for the year 2019, and our question states that for Roman A, list 60 characteristics common for all living things. List 60 characteristics common to all living things. Question number 6, Roman B, states that name the instrument used to measure the following parameter. Name the instrument used to measure the following parameter. The first one, you have the A, you have the temperature. The B, you are needed to mention the instrument used to measure the length. C is time, and the last one is the mass. My lovely form to students, before we answer the question, first of all, we have to be aware on the instruction. For the instruction of the question number 6, Roman A, you are needed just to list the 60 characteristics of the living things. Make sure that you follow the instructions so as to avoid that consuming of the time. Once you're told to mention, just make sure that you list down all you mention. Don't write in other blah blah. Also, for this Roman B, you are needed just to mention the instrument, either if there are 2 or 3 or 1, just mention the instrument that are used for measuring this parameter. Now, this question, in order to answer it very correctly, you are needed to have a deep understanding in that topic. For the Roman A, you are needed to have a deep understanding in that topic of the introduction to biology. This is where this question has been derived. So, in case kama hujasoma topic introduction to biology, it is the first topic katika topic yetu ya form 1 ya introduction to biology, one of the very interesting topic. Make sure kwamba you follow it at Educare Media, just subscribe and search the introduction to biology form 1, that now you can get the full package on this topic so that you can read and understand to get a deep knowledge in this particular topic. And question Roman B, this question has been derived also from the form 1 topic. In that topic of the scientific method and procedure is where this question has been derived on measurement, observation, and the experiment is where this question has been derived in that concept or in that topic of the scientific procedures. Now, let us answer our question that has been provided to us by starting with Roman A, which you are needed to mention the 6 characteristics of common to all living things. The living things, we say that all living things are made up of cell. There is no living without the cell, because so anything that is living, example, plants, animal, microorganism, viruses, this bacteria, fungi, they are living, meaning that they possess the life. Wote wana uhai. Kwa viumbe hai ni wale viumbe ambao wana uhai. Meaning that, so ili waweze kuwa hai, lazima wawe na cell. So this is a basic structure, a basic unit of the life. So all living organisms are made up of cell. So once we talk on the living things, meaning that hizi ni sifa za viumbe hai, either plant or animal wanakuwa nazo. Hizi hapa ni sifa ambazo zipo common kwa viumbe hai wote. You study this from your primary, you are familiar with it. So now let us just katika swali letu tunaweza kuambia kwamba tuweze kumention, lakini I need to explain to you in details. Yeah, lakini katika once you attempt your question, make sure that you follow the just list. Nimeweza kuelezea so as to broaden your understanding kwa wale ambao hawajafuatilia this topic ya introduction to biology. So, the living things have 7 characteristics that make them different from non-living things. And these characteristics include the nutrition, respiration, excretion, growth and development, reproduction, movement and sensitivity. Kwa hiyo kwako wewe, my lovely Form 2 student, just you needed to mention these characteristics: nutrition, respiration, excretion, growth and development. This is the hapo nutrition ya kwanza, respiration ya pili, excretion ya tatu, growth and development ya 4, reproduction ya 5, movement and sensitivity, this is the 6th one. This is movement ya 6, alafu sensitivity ni ya 7. So you are needed just to mention the 6. Hivyo kwa kumention tutaru umepata marks zako, lakini I give you a brief details explanation pertaining these characteristics for those who have not already studied this particular topic on the introduction to biology. So by starting with the first one ambao ni nutrition. Nutrition, kila kiumbe hai lazima ale ili aweze kuishi. So we have, and where we get those nutrients? We get this nutrient from the food we eat, from variety of the food where there is this nutrients. So we have to consume this particular food so as to get the nutrients. And where example of this nutrients, there is protein, carbohydrates, vitamins, refuges, water, which enable us to survive, also to perform variety of the body activity. You can't survive without eating. Take an example, ukae hata kwa mwezi moja, you can survive. Uwezi ukakaa kwa mwezi moja bila kula. So this is one of the characteristics of the living things. Every living things must eat, must feed on a particular food substance to get the nutrient to survive. So by starting the first one, which is the nutrition, this is a process by which living things feed material from the environment. And within here tuna 2 types of organism. Tuna autotrophic organism pamoja na heterotrophic, au tuna 2 mode of nutrition. Tuna autotrophic nutrition pamoja na heterotrophic nutrition. Tunapozungumza autotrophic nutrition, these are the organisms which are capable of manufacturing their own food from the environment. Example, plants, green plant and algae. And heterotrophic nutrition, these are the organisms which depend on other organisms to feed on so as to get the nutrient. Example, animals. Also, plants, blue algae, and some prototypes make their own food using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. So this is known as the photosynthesis. So these are the example of the autotroph. And animal and other protozoa feed on ready-made material that unaita ni heterotroph. So they may feed on plants, either animal or microorganism. So example, lion feed on zebra, cow feed on the plant. So these are the heterotroph, meaning that they are incapable of manufacturing their own food. Instead, they depend on other source as a nutrient. Another characteristic is the respiration. Respiration now, this is the process of breaking down that consumed food so as to release the energy which can be used to perform variety of the metabolic activity or cellular activities like growth and the development. So respiration, the food eaten by organism contain the energy, but that energy is found in inaccessible form. So it must be broken down so as to release the energy. So however, this energy is not directly in usable form, and the food has been broken down within the living things to release an energy. And the process of releasing or breaking down this food substance we see in the topic of the gaseous exchange and respiration. You see that there is aerobic and anaerobic respiration, where the food substance, example glucose, is broken in the presence of oxygen in aerobic, and in anaerobic the glucose is being broken down in absence of the oxygen. Another is excretion. Excretion, this is a process of removing unwanted metabolic products from our body. Nitrogenous waste, example, urine, uric acid, ammonia, carbon dioxide, water, and so forth. Also, another is growth and development. The growth, once we talk on the growth, is caused by increase in the number of cells that make up the organism. So, hapo tunaangalia, tuseme kwa ukuaji ndio growth. Tunaangalia kiasi cha seli ambazo kimeweza kuongezeka, which constitute of the organism. Alafu growth is an increase in the size and weight of the cell of an organism. That is a growth. Now, development occur when cell becomes specialized to perform more specific function about naitani development. Another characteristic ni sensitivity na ability kuweza kuhisi na kuweza kurespond to the stimulus. Hapa ni moja characteristics of the living things ambapo this is the ability of an organism to detect and respond to change in the environment. And this changes what is known as the stimulus. Stimulus can be either internal or external stimulus. Example, human being can feel and react to heat, cold, or pain. That is sensitivity or irritability. A snail hiding its body inside its shell when it is touched. Also, plants can respond to stimuli, but response can't be very fast and visible. Example, the leaf of the mimosa pudica tended to fold once it is touched. Another characteristic is reproduction, kuzaliana. So, in this reproduction, we have two kinds of the reproduction, the sexual and asexual reproduction. So, the sexual, the one which involves the mating of the parent of the different sex, like in of the same species, so to produce of a fertile offspring. Like in katika asexual, the one which involves only single parent, you will study it into detail katika topic ya reproduction. Takapofika form 3, nimefundisha hapa Educare Media. Kama hujaifuatilia, kama hujaisoma, once unapokuwa umeweza mtihani yako ya form 2, please, you are mostly welcome to subscribe and search the topic of the reproduction. It is form 3 topic so that you can get a detailed understanding in this particular concept of the reproduction. Also, the question number 6, Roman B, needs you to name the instrument used to measure the following parameters. The first one was the temperature. The instrument which is used to measure the temperature is known as the thermometer. And the Roman B, the instrument used to measure the length, this is a meter ruler. Natumia meter ruler katika kupima urefu. Na vile vile time, kifaa kinatumia katika kupima muda tunatumiaga ni saa, ambao ni stopwatch. Na last one, kifaa ambacho tunatumia katika kupima mass ambao tunatumiaga mizani, or weighing balance or weighing the scale. Na maabara mnaitumia katika kupima uzito wa samples. Ukienda madukani mnaangalia unataka sukari kilo 1, chumvi kiasi gani. So unatumia weighing balance katika kuweza kupima uzito wa kitu fulani. So my lovely Fonto student, thank you for your attention. Hope that you understand the lesson. In case of any misconception, please don't hesitate to write it in the comment section at Educare Media so that I can mark so that I can cross-check and give a feedback pertaining your problem and concern. Also, stay connected to Educare Media for other coming session and further learning. Thank you for watching. Have a nice moment.